What's crackling, everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list. For each episode, we take a cereal, put on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host Tucker, and this episode we're going to be doing Honey O's, or as I've always called them, just O's. So obviously for this one, you're looking at a basic circular piece with a bit of extra stuff in the middle, but honey flavored. So if you take away that stuff in the middle, it kind of gets a Honey Nut Cheerios vibe, which is an A. I don't know if this will be that high, but I remember back in the day considering this sort of like a healthy cereal, and actually kind of liking it and being like, all right, this is the one healthy cereal that I'm down with. So we'll see if that holds up. Hopefully it's still good. But let's find out, see what we got. From what I can tell, the box just says the middle is good things. There's good things in the middle. So, not sure what that really means, but take their word for it. Just smells how I remember it. Yeah. Kind of honey, definitely a lot more different grains going on. The pieces do look bigger than I remember, though. That's weird. I feel like when you grow up, things look smaller, but this looks bigger. All right. So not every O has good things in the middle, but it seems like at least half of them do. Okay. What is happening? Here we go. So it does taste how I remember. So it's pretty good. I don't think it's peak for like honey flavors, obviously. Hard to beat Honey Nut Cheerios. I think this is a pretty good take on it. The good things in the middle, I guess, do add a bit of a different flavor, so it's not just a pure honey and wheat or whatever. So that's kind of cool. Helps it stand out. So that's good. So one of the ways the honey flavor on this one is kind of different is it's almost kind of reminiscent of a bit of vanilla in there with the honey. That's not actually included, like there's no vanilla flavoring, but just sort of the mix of, I think it's the different wheats and then the different like sweeteners they have in there for the honey. Has it like pure honey's here, vanilla's here. It's like sort of moves that way a bit, you know? So that's kind of one of the things that, besides the good things in the middle, makes the taste a little different from something like Honey Nut Cheerios. And also, thus far, have not lost any of the flavor as I've been going. So that's pretty good too. Like that retention. And speaking of retention, these are keeping their crunch pretty well throughout this whole process. Not getting too soggified. So that's nice. Good job there as well. O's. Now it's time to test out the honeyness of the milk. It's definitely honey, but it kind of gets a lot of the sweetness from the piece, and that's being transferred to the milk, but none of the different like grain flavors are. So it's like sweeter than the piece, not in a like bad aggressive way like some cereals, but I think I'm into it. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's I don't know, when I was looking at the ingredients, it has like palm oil or something like that, and I see those words and I taste this and they kind of like go together in my mind. Obviously, I would not be able to taste that. I'm not someone with that sort of talent, but it has that sort of like coconut oily sweetness, if that makes sense. I think overall, though, they did manage to earn that exclamation point at the end. So overall, not much to really complain about with Honey O's. They kind of do a solid job with everything. So that's worked out pretty well. I can understand why there's not like any sort of weird variations on this. They're like, oh, got it in one. We'll stick with what we know, and that has worked. So I think I figured out how to sort of explain the taste difference for the honey on this. If you take Honey Nut Cheerios and then take like the golden Oreo O's, sort of combine that together with like a bit more of Honey Nut Cheerios than golden Oreo O's, that's sort of what you're going to get here. Except, unlike golden Oreo O's, I think taste here is actually pretty good. So, what I'm going to do is give Honey O's a B. It's a pretty solid cereal. It's not as good as Honey Nut Cheerios, which I'm going to keep saying because the circles and honey, very similar. But I think it's a solid choice nonetheless. Got good crunch, got good taste. Like, not much to really complain about. They've pulled this off pretty well, and it's slightly different from sort of the other honey flavors you get. So it sort of stands out a bit there too. You got the good things in the middle that, actually they taste pretty good as far as I can tell, even though I'm not 100% certain what they are. But yeah, Honey O's, pretty good. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've had Honey O's either now, back in the day, whenever, at any time. If you also were a pretty big fan of them, like I am. If maybe you don't like the good things in the middle, and like that's a major issue for you, let me know about that. Or maybe if, like me, all it took for you to consider a cereal healthy was that it had those sort of like, grain things in the middle. If you were someone who was like that as a kid, let me know about that too, because this is not really like a healthy cereal, but I'm curious if other people sort of put it in that category as well. But until next time, stay delicious.